Pokemon's 21st birthday has just passed less than a week ago, and I think that's the perfect time for us to take a trip down memory lane and jump into the nostalgic times we've had with these games. Not only has Pokemon changed over the many years that have gone by, but our views on what fill us with screams of joy have as well. This is a video on those little things that made our younger selves happy that we might have forgotten nowadays. I hope that anyone who were kids in the past, or are currently kids, can share in remembering these moments, as well as the other fun times that Pokemon have brought us. Welcome everyone to the top 5 best things in Pokemon as a kid. Number 5. Let's start us off with something that we can all relate to. Back in the day, our good old internet was not as well used as it is today. So seeing which new Pokemon would appear was a completely different experience. Being shown a new Pokemon in the anime before they were released in the games, or just taking those first steps into the grass and watching a new Pokemon we've never encountered before pop up right in front of us for the very first time, was something that little me got ecstatic about. Sure, I still have the same feeling when I get to pick my starter in the new games, or finally getting to catch a Pokemon I've been looking forward to, but with how hard it was for young me to navigate the early days of the internet, and just not knowing where anyone would appear, made the journey even more magical. Except when I used the Prima Guide that one time. Those were dark days. Number 4. This might not be something that everyone enjoyed, but to me as a kid, I loved going into my original Ruby and Sapphire Pokedex and looking at how big each Pokemon was compared to my in-game character. Looking at what a real-life Mudkip or legendary Pokemon's size would be compared to the 4'11 character brought a smile to my 4'11 face. One of my favorite things to do was look at Wailord's Pokedex and see the character model turn into a tiny little dot beside the biggest Pokemon ever. It was the little features in these games, ones you wouldn't normally think of, that ended up as some of the most enjoyable memories for me. It made the games even more fun to look back on, and last longer in our hearts. Number 3. Throughout each game, there were various areas you weren't allowed to go to until you completed some quest, or defeated a gym, or got these angry dudes some drinks. That is just poor workmanship. And that just bothered me, in a good way. It was the same feeling I got when I clicked on a fence in RuneScape and was told it was members only. I wanted to explore it, but I couldn't. At least in Pokemon, I didn't have to pay to unlock new areas, besides the game itself. But once I finally finished my tasks and moved on to the next area to see what it looked like in all of its glory, I was awed. Seeing trainers who blocked the entrances to legendary Pokemon, or being taunted by NPCs talking about how new and beautiful a city would be, that excited me so much that once I was finally allowed to enter and navigate through the caverns, or climb the tallest mountains, or even just wander through the grass and see new Pokemon, I would be struck with a feeling of happiness and a bit of indigestion because I ate too much spaghetti that one night. The designs of the cities you are now able to see, the areas you unlock to catch new Pokemon, and the overall adventure was enhanced by having to unlock some of these places. Number 2. Now this sort of goes hand in hand with the last section, however it needed to have its own number because I know to a lot of people, this was something to behold. Let me take you down this journey. You've come to the end of the first games, beaten the Elite Four, but what do you do after? Well, you can catch some Pokemon, challenge the Elite Four again, level up your guys, bond with your Pikachu, you do all of that, and then Gen 2 comes out, and it's everything you wished for and more. You get through the gyms, you meet new Pokemon, you beat the Elite Four, and just like Gen 1, you're done. At least that's what you think, because whoa, what's that? That's Kanto you can go to. And look at that, there's every gym leader and you can do pretty much everything. But wait, that's not Giovanni, that's Blue. Whoa, you get to go through Kanto in the future, meet most of the old gym leaders, and then get to battle your old rival? And yourself? What? There's more Pokemon to catch, there's more people to see, more cities to explore, and Red, your former identity standing here atop an incredible mountain that you just traversed, and you get to battle him. I was 10, this blew my mind. He had his trusty Pikachu, all the starters, a Snorlax, and then I guess he caught an Eevee because he was still salty about Blue pushing him into a wall. And you wonder why he ran up a mountain. Dude, that's just not cool. There was just so much to do in this game that really felt worthwhile. Game Freak did a spectacular job making a sequel, and created some of the fondest memories for me. I'm just gonna drop this honorable mention right here because 6-year-old me he would not be able to forgive me if I didn't put this in. I was a huge Pikachu fan, still am, but kid me really loved that little electric mouse. Getting to see that little guy follow you around made me jump for joy. And that's not just it. You gotta see how happy or upset it was with you. There were cute little cutscenes you'd encounter as your Pikachu ran off and fell in love with the Clefairy, and overall it just had this sense of immersion for young me. If I saw that Pikachu was upset in that little square that popped up when you asked how it was doing, I would get upset too, and try to take care of my little Tamagotchi pet, until I could see every heart flutter around its head. It may have been only a small addition to the first generation, but it meant a lot to the little Pikachu fan I was, and inspired Game Freak to remake the second generation with more friends that followed you. Number 1. If there's something we can definitely all relate to, it was the joy of sharing our experiences in Pokémon with our friends, family, or anyone who liked the games, whether it be in person or online. You know, sometimes you make a top 10 about your love for Pokémon and you get a bunch of nice comments, or ones that say things like, "I really don't know how to feel about these videos," or "Rotom is not a legendary." And that's okay too. But the moments we were able to share with other people were magical, whatever they may be. Doing things like coordinating on who in your family was getting which Pokemon game, or just posting on some random messaging board about your catch of the day. It made Pokemon a communal experience, and it makes me so happy to see all the content on YouTube, all the posts on GameFAQs, even the ragers who, while they definitely need to tone it down, are really just passionate about a specific idea and get a little angry when they see someone disagrees. But you know what? It's a group of many diverse people who've all had a bunch of different experiences in the games and through life. So coming together to say, hey, that's not Arceus, it's Arceus, really shows you how special experiences can be. Thanks for tuning in, everyone. After that last bit, I just have to thank you all for being in a community with me, whether you love or critique my videos. I appreciate all of it, and I'll always be trying to make my videos better. I hope you all enjoyed this topic, and please make sure to leave a like and subscribe to show your support. Thanks again, and until next time, keep on catching!